Oh God, I hate it. Hi, good evening.
Hello.
Welcome.
I understand we are recording.
Yes, we
I
are.
am Milo. I'm the storyteller tonight.
I'm Third Life Crisis, and I play Sim Fire Elemental.
Hi, I'm Az. I play the red cap good boy, Derrig,
And we're playing a
who's
modified
going to
version
cause so many problems.
a modified version of Changeling the Lost. And what happened last time is mostly conversation. Derek and Sim talked about not really, a little bit about Derek, what he did at the on-cells, though it was mostly my hat is squishy and very, it's a dream
Good.
wet, you know.
Yeah, dream wet, squishy, half naked Derrig.
Sim talked to Savannah, who took over the shop for the day. Well, kind of. Sarah helped, but once Sarah had to leave to go back to her sculpting, Savannah had taken over. Sim talked to Savannah a little bit. They talked about how the day went, the Goblin Market, just briefly about the Goblin Market before everyone retired for the evening to have dinner. Ro had turned the entire dining room into a jungle, while she and Derek talked briefly about, they talked around a lot of subjects. Derek not wanting to tell Ro why he was covered in blood, as Ro is sensitive to mentions of the horned women. Sim talked Ro out of the jungle in the dining room, and they cleaned up, sat down, had dinner, and Derek and Sim went off to disrupt Sarah's statue making, the concerning project she's been working on. They got to the college, they got invited in, and well, Derek and Sarah had a discussion about why turning into a statue is a phobia and horrifying. Yep. Sim dried out the clay with his fire elemental abilities to ruin the progress that had thus far been made. They left, returned back to the hollow where they slept for the night, and they awoke in the morning to a very excited Ro and a semi-enthusiastic Savannah for market day. They had breakfast. They asked a couple of questions about the market, trying to get a little bit of a feel for how it might go. And then they went down the entrance, a river, a boat, to the entrance of the market, where they met a Ferris named Leah, who explained to them the rules of the market, answered their questions, gave them a map, and then they entered the market proper. So they now stand at the top of the stairs overlooking the Goblin Market in this abandoned hall. Do you remember the names of the stores?
I have them listed.
Yes, I have that list too if you need a reminder.
Yeah.
So Derek's like, I want to the homespun, hedge spun home goods. I want to go there.
Excellent.
Because we're gonna go to the hedge, and so if we go to the hedge and we go to the hedge, it might work out, right? Yeah.
Okay. That sounds like a good place to start. I think yeah. I'll go with you too, and then I have some places in mind as well. But you know what? We can also, if Savannah or Ro don't mind tagging along with you, Derek, I can go run a couple of my own errands. I'm just looking at some stuff.
Yes, that sounds good.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just looking at some stuff for the hollow, for the shop, things to help it out. So, but yeah, let's go to the head spun home goods first.
Was that a lie, Sim? Are you lying to Derek right now?
Not entirely, because I am actually looking for stuff for the shop.
All right.
The hollow.
Just thought I'd ask.
And my other thing I'm doing.
You don't lose dice when you lie to Derek. Derek loses dice when you lie to Derek. You have all your dice.
Congratulations, you lied to yourself.
So. Yeah, you played yourself.
I usually, it's a problem.
So
that came out wrong.
all right.
Yeah, I legit.
Thank God he's pretty. Okay, let's just go with
Yeah.
that. And
Hey, oh, little technical difficulty. Sorry.
Yeah.
You froze up just slightly. As
It's okay.
there we
You're
go.
good now.
You're moving now.
Hi, I'm still
Hello.
here.
So
It's that Eldritch word. I can't help
the La
it.
Sombra.
You are our good
so-
boy / himbo. So for this one, so.
Ro,
I was gonna say that's not true, but for the game, yes, yeah.
Game, yes.
Ro pipes up with essentially that the only thing she needs to do is go to
Yeah, the fruit.
to where the
Get some
yeah,
fruit.
Yeah.
which is the Forbidden Fruits. The name of the
Mhm.
stand is the Forbidden Fruit, and
You-
that is where she goes to get her goblin.
You know what I'm interested in, or actually I think would be kind of cool. Would Ro be okay with us going to Forbidden Fruits just to kind of check it out along with her?
Yeah, she's totally
Let's
fine
just-
with you going.
Okay, do you want to buzz there first and then go to the Hedge Spun Home Goods?
You want to buzz there?
Is that
first.
okay?
Is that it? that
So
a
Derek
joke?
has already started wandering off.
Oh, okay.
Derek,
Savannah has
Derek-
followed you.
You
No,
said-
Derek
you
starts
said-
walking. Savannah follows.
Yeah, you said Forbidden Fruits. I have a map, so Derek's just like
Okay,
"Forbidden
okay.
Fruits, let's go.
Derek.
Savannah.
Okay, yeah, okay. Remember, let's until we're making sure. Remember, we're
Safety
doing a
in
little
numbers.
safety in numbers, a little bit.
Yeah.
Accountability system.
Yep.
So
this
hanging out. We
is
got all
an
Good
18
system.
plus.
the great
18
system.
plus.
Twosies.
By the way, again, if you are not 18 and you're 12,
12.
please see yourself out.
Yeah.
There's so
Disclaimer.
many 2-person coteries.
Yeah, is that what we're calling it nowadays, Fizzy? Is that what we're calling it?
Oh.
I'm the storyteller for that game. I get to make
I
those
haven't
jokes.
done
Please, sir.
anything. I feel
Please,
it's
sir, may I
half.
have some more?
I feel
I mean,
it's
that's what
half.
Elizabeth's asking.
Pain breath.
Pain breaths.
Sorry, Lizzie. Fig was not strong enough to stick it in. The steak, that is.
I'm real glad it was sticking it in someone else and not her. Mm.
Yes.
Mm.
Is that
Are
to
you
hurt your
saying-
own feelings?
You saying
Well,
Fig poorly handles the wood. I'm just.
I mean, Milo's got the wood covered.
But we know Milo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
If you're looking for a strong woman to crush you with her thighs, it's definitely Milo, not Elizabeth. Elizabeth can try. Milo will succeed.
There you go.
and it's not what you're hoping for either.
No,
There's-
no, no.
not a-
It's a
yeah.
death sentence.
What a way to
Crush
go.
me. Okay. What a way to go. Oh my god.
Back to the fruits.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, let's go handle some goblin fruit.
Okay. So,
This is
my
great.
eyes.
I'll stop.
All right.
I won't,
So,
but
as I said, the first shop, this first stall you come to is you come down the stairs, and again, Savannah and Ro did hear the whole let's stay in a group, or at least someone stay with Derek.
Right.
So Savannah is literally right on Derek's heels because he
Right.
did kind of start going
Right.
down.
We're an even
Before
number, so we
everybody
can
else.
always be paired up at some point.
Yeah.
So that's a good idea.
So
Yeah.
Savannah is right behind. If you wanted to go off with Rosim, she did already kind of. You let her in on your plans a little bit. If you recall,
Yes,
and
I
she
did.
did
That's
agree to help to protect Derek with you. So you know that if
Right.
you needed someone to go with you to do your thing, Ro would be able to go without revealing some big ass secret because you already told her this. So
Correct.
just wanted to remind you of that.
Yep.
So Savannah is right on Derek's ass.
I got all these things going on. It's great.
And-
We're trying anyway.
You know, Derek walks at his pace. It's the Derek pace.
It's the Derek pace. We'll
And
get
so
there
Savannah-
eventually. We're on Derek time.
So Savannah clearly wants to walk a little faster, but you can tell she's slowed down her pace to match Derek's a little bit. Because
Only got
with
the
her
2 legs.
full ass dog legs, she actually has a pretty good stride.
Mhm.
Whereas your legs aren't quite there, so it's not the same. But you pass Morgan's Marvelous Mysteries, you head down the row. There are a couple of shops and languages you don't understand. They're like symbols and shit.
Mhm.
And you see just various wares. You hear random conversation of people trying to sell things and barter for stuff. And, you know, it's not so packed you're shoving people out of your way, but, you know,
Right.
you're pretty close to people as you're walking by. It's, you know, it's not hard. But there is this murmur and mingling of voices, so some conversations get lost amongst others. And you actually pass the Nightmare stall, the Find It Here, and not that one, and the Something Lost shop before you come to the Forbidden Fruits.
Something Lost, Nightmares, and
And
Find It Here
the Find It Here.
before
Derek
before
will
Forbidden
stop
Fruit.
at Find It Here.
Okay.
Just because
All right.
it says Find It Here. We're obviously where
Find
we're
It
supposed to
Here.
be.
So Savannah stops with you. So when you stop at the Find It Here, you see a tall woman who looks to be carved from wood. She has horns that look like tree branches, and they are currently bare. They have no leaves on them, even though they're clearly tree branches. And she's wearing a dress that looks as though it is made out of autumn leaves, fallen like brown and orange and red and yellow. And she has small butterfly wings that sprout from her back, and you can see them just kind of peeking over her shoulders a little bit. They're not big. They're kind of out the top. She is running the stall. You see these tiny little creatures also running around. They're grabbing things off of shelves, necklaces, pocket watches. Like, it's odds and ends mostly.
Yeah.
To you, it looks like odds and ends at the very least.
Could I just mention real quick that lovely description?
Yeah.
is exactly how I had envisioned the avatar of the goddess of nature for Dreamlands, which is a lot of fun.
Oh, really?
Right? Okay.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Just putting that out there. So
That's not Rin's
Aw.
god. Rin forgets sometimes that he has one until things go bad.
you follow the god of trickery. Madara.
I do. Yeah.
You do that.
Scarlet follows
I
the goddess
Sometimes.
of night. The goddess of
Mhm.
night. That's
Yep.
that's Scarlet's goddess.
Yep.
But anyways, so
Coming soon.
after a minute of like, she's kind of talking to somebody else, she notices you and she walks over. Is there something I can help you with?
It says we can find it here.
That is the name of my shop, yes.
Mhm.
Okay, well, what are you looking for?
Do you have any fancy sticks?
All right, I'm gonna make a roll for her to see what she thinks you mean by that. Shopkeepers are gonna have a good time with Derek. Savannah's kind of just standing there and she's keeping an eye on you. Do Sim and the Sim stop?
Yes. We're not
Okay.
where we were originally planning to go, so I am making sure that people are going to
All right, so everyone stops at this
What?
stall.
You don't trust Derek's common
This is like
sense?
if you're in Disneyland and you're going down Main Street and you're
You
headed
guys haven't
towards the
decided.
entrance.
Dude,
Stop.
I've never
Stop.
been to Disneyland. We have this discussion. I have no idea. I have no context.
It's like the Ren Fair.
Got
You
it.
need to plan a spot to meet.
Got it.
Anyways, not the point. So she kind of looks at you and she picks up a cane.
Mm.
Are you looking? Do you mean this?
What does it do?
Oh, this. She pulls out a blade.
Nice.
Is a sword.
let me know when Sim comes up, and I'll.
Oh God,
you-
no.
So
So
you're
there's
there.
like
You hear, "I need a stick," and her pick up
fancy.
this,
Fancy
and then
stick.
pull the blade out. And that is when you're like within not yelling.
Yeah.
Like
Got
you've
it.
walked up
Yeah.
now, so you're not like having to
And then
yell over
gonna just
people.
gently elbow Derek real quick.
No, I don't need. I have a knife. It's a good knife.
Oh,
Kind
that
of.
is.
It's a bad knife.
Is that your spigot?
Yeah.
Okay. I know. So Willow kind of looks at it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
No,
So
I don't
stick,
need it.
you mean? And she like grabs an
Hi.
umbrella.
I don't know what it looks like. It just said you said you could find it here, and I was just seeing if I could
hi,
find. Well,
hey Derek.
yeah. Hey, yeah, Sim.
Hey. Oh,
Yeah.
getting the impression that this is kind of more of a bits and bobs sort of place.
No, Bits and Bobs is
Oh.
down the way.
Okay.
Sorry, my mistake. Sorry, but a collection of perhaps oddities, obscurities is maybe more of what we're looking for, or would this potentially be a place like that? Or is this more just all sorts of different odds and ends?
This is all sorts of different odds and ends. It's things that I have collected over the years, or that have been collected for me,
Got it.
gifted to me in ways. Yes, and well, not everything at this shop is unique. It might be if the right person was looking.
I see. Perhaps maybe then, as my friend here is somewhat alluding to, we're potentially looking for something that's more along the lines of perhaps coming from things that might have perhaps become lost and found in the hedge.
Well, if you're looking for something specifically from the hedge, I would definitely recommend going to Treasures from the Hedge, or
Okay.
you could possibly find that at the Wardens. They occasionally get things like that.
I see.
Do they have
Yes.
fancy hedge sticks?
I haven't asked them recently, but let me figure out the fucking name of this store real quick.
Thank you.
As Sim is having the conversation, he's also just looking around and taking in if there's anything
Of something lost.
at least in this immediate store that looks potentially interesting. Just going to do a cursory look around and just
all right,
kind of take it in.
A cursory look around. The wares of this particular store kind of look like junk.
Okay.
Like it's just weird crap. There's like a pocket watch that is stuck on one time with a cracked glass. There's a small glass unicorn in like a glass case, and it's labeled incorrectly. Like the glass case says, jade serpent, but it's a glass like it's weird shit.
Interesting. Okay.
Yep.
Because I immediately kind of thought of where Mr. Weasley had all that stuff that he collected from Muggles. It's kind of the place that kind of the first
there's a unicorn that's mislabeled. That Derek will point that out because he feels very good about this. He's like, that's not a serpent.
Good point. No, seriously, that's
yeah.
Sim will go over to it and kind of check it out a little closer. Is it just like did like someone mess with it? Is it like somebody's art? Is it like something you'd find at Goodwill that somebody tried to make and then they just offloaded it?
Well, you would have to roll. You'd have to roll to figure
so many
out
cursed
if you
images.
know what the fuck this is. Basically, okay, let me look at what
sure
you have to roll.
I don't know if I have the appropriate roll for this. What would you like me to roll?
Yeah,
because honestly,
honestly,
here's the other thing too. If Derek finds it interesting, I'd get it for him.
Mainly, Derek is like, I know for a fact that it isn't a serpent.
Derek said, "This isn't a serpent," and it did catch Willow's attention. So you're kind of trying to figure out what it is. You've walked over to it, where you're welcome to roll your weird and your occult to see if you recognize
Weird and
what is
occult.
happening.
Okay.
Weird and occult, to see if you recognize what's happening.
Okay, thankfully I
And I'll
filled
give
up
you
my
the chance
glamour.
before Willow walks over to show you what it is, because she as a business owner, she's going to show you what it does.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I
understood.
don't have a hunger die. We're good.
We don't, and we're all full up on glamour, so we should be good.
Yeah, you should be full up on glamour.
2.
Yeah, somebody mislabeled the fuck out of this.
Oh.
That is not a serpent.
They messed up.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Crit for a total of 5.
So what you know about the true fae and the hedge and
That
the
was on my
glamour
new
and
dice.
the mean and the nice,
Very nice.
the
So,
glamour and the
Shiny-
mean and all
shiny
of that
click-clacks.
is
mhm.
my luck stones. What you kind of know is that there are things called trifles, and
Okay.
looking really close at this item. So that's what we'll say you did. You get really close. You kind of pull on that glamour, that source of magic that you have, as you know, and your knowledge of the various magical things, to kind of see that the ID plate wavers a little bit and the statue wavers a little bit. Clearly, this item can change.
Mhm.
And there are certain items called trifles, which you do know of. They are basically tokens that take nothing from you and do something very minor that is just kind of cute or elaborate or silly or fancy to impress
Gotcha.
your friends and boggle the minds or whatever the fuck. So when Willow walks over, what she does is she waves her hand over the nameplate and it changes to Crystal Unicorn.
Okay.
And it now matches what's inside. And, you know, she's like, yeah, no, this is, this item just, it changes. So if you want decor without having to buy new decor, you can have whatever you want. And then she waves her hand over the actual unicorn and it changes to a spiraling ruby dragon.
Okay.
And then the name, she waves her hand over the nameplate and it changes to ruby dragon, basically. And so it's basically just a fancy fucking decorative item you put on your shelf.
Decorative trifle. Got it.
A decorative trifle. It just changes shape and like material, and the nameplate changes with it. So you can be like, hey, look at this cool thing I have. That's all it does.
Derek, would you like this?
It didn't match, though.
It does now. I mean, like,
If
you can read
wanted
it and
to.
see that it now matches.
If you wanted to, Derek, you could. You could take this and show whoever you'd like that it doesn't match and that you can make it match.
I don't.
Or you
I'll
can just
probably break it. I don't know.
I don't know. I thought this would go kind of cool next to your rug.
That's true.
But you know, if your call. I'm looking on this as like just a little souvenir for our trip.
I think I'm gonna save up in case they have the fancy stick.
Okay. I'll hand it back to Willow. Is it?
Yeah, Willow.
Willow. Okay, I'll hand it back to Willow. Thank you.
Thank you
She
for
takes
showing
it.
me your fancy sticks.
You're very welcome. I'm sorry that it wasn't what you wanted.
It's okay. Like I said, I already
Not
have.
a worry.
I have my knife.
Let's Derek.
and stabbing people makes it hurts them, so we're not supposed to do that anyway. So
Derek,
But yeah,
can
Yeah.
Just real quick,
what?
just so there's no confusion, let's make
Mhm.
sure that stays under wraps because we remember the rules. Remember the rules of the market. We don't want anything potentially to be misconstrued as an act of violence.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I wasn't gonna use it.
Oh,
I
I know.
wasn't.
I
Okay.
know. But I just didn't want some passerby to think that they were going to misread the situation. So that's all.
I wasn't good. Okay.
Oh, I know you weren't. I'm worried about someone else misunderstanding.
Right. Okay.
Knife stay in.
Yeah. I mean, okay.
That's all.
Put it back in the bag.
but they Sim will walk up and go like, yeah, Spigot's pretty awesome though.
Except for the nightmares.
Yes.
Yeah. While you guys were talking, Willow has wandered off to help other customers.
We'll
with
scooch
various
out
things,
with
so.
Savannah
Yep,
and head over to
they kind
Forbidden
of-
Fruit if we can make it.
So
But we're also going to
you
pass by Nightmares.
you passed by Nightmares already, or night.
Yeah.
So it went.
Sorry, we did
Morgan's
pass by
Marvelous Mysteries. It
Mhm.
went Morgan's Marvelous Mysteries, Nightmares, shops you couldn't actually read the names of because they were in other languages.
Got it.
That you stopped at the Find It Here. The next one you would have passed would have been. I keep losing my sheet of paper. Something Lost, and then you would have reached the Forbidden Fruits. Also, there was the store kind of catty corner to Find It Here was Bits and Bobs. So you passed by Bits and Bobs as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bits and
But
Bobs.
we gotta go get the fruit for Ro.
Yeah. All right.
I keep thinking we're going to run into a stop that's called Something Borrowed, and then Something Blue is going to be a different shop somewhere else. It's going to be
there are lots of markets. Don't you worry. I'm sure that'll crop up somewhere.
And all of those types of markets are going to be something related to like charms or something for people to be like, look at me. And they're all
Can I just borrow that name for you for a second?
So you get to the Forbidden Fruit stand.
Sure, I trust you, Fairest. I trust you completely.
As you should.
Yes. Illy would be a Fairest for sure.
The woman who works at this shop
yes,
kind of looks like one of those like all black bumblebee looking things, She's got like the carapace with the joints. All the joints have that weird like
that chitiny look.
That chitiny look to them.
Yeah.
But she looks like a person, just with this weird chitinous like skin almost. Like
gotcha.
You feel like if you touch it, it would feel like touching the back of a beetle.
Yep.
But like
with a slight those little insectile furs, those little insectile furs that pop up as well.
And she does have these two antennae.
Got it.
But her eyes aren't faceted like a bug's. They aren't bulbous. They're normal people eyes. It's kind of almost off-putting how bug-like combined with just straight human. She looks a little weird. She has no extra legs or anything like that. She's just, normal woman. And she's wearing this bright blue, like summer dress. It's just.
And this is at.
This is at the Forbidden Fruit.
This is at Forbidden Fruit. Okay, cool.
All
right.
So what you see is basically a imagine like a farmer's market stall. There are barrels that have fruit in them. And then she's got like barrels behind her on like a little raised thing that have fruit in it. And then she's got buckets on the corners of her booth that have fruit in them. All the fruits look different.
Okay.
But
are there signs or indications?
Yes, there are signs and indication. Okay. So there is a row of fruit. And these are it's 2 rows of these fruits. There are 4 fruits, 4 different types. They all look kind of roughly in the same vein. And they have the sign Glamour Glob or Glamour Gob. And they're labeled with what emotion. So wrath, sorrow, desire, and fear.
Do we see Ro?
Yeah, Ro has like as soon as you guys got close enough to the shop that like Savannah's kind of behind Derek still. You're kind of, I'm guessing Sim is kind of the Derek side. She basically bolted past you guys to the shop and has a basket. She has this little basket and she's filling it full of the Desire Glamour Gobs because she is spring court.
Yeah. Do you want me to carry that for you, Ro?
No, I got it for now.
Okay.
And she's just like shoving fruit into it.
Ro, do you need us to help find any particular fruits than these?
No, these are the ones I need.
These are just the ones you need. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
You do see a fruit called it's labeled amaranthine, and it's a small red eggplant looking fruit.
Okay.
There's one called coonettle, and it's a leafy looking plant. It's not really a fruit. Goblin fruits aren't always fruit looking, by the way. They look like whatever the fuck. So it's kind of like a leafy plant in a bucket. And then there's one called Jarman. This one looks like there's two buckets that are labeled. This one looks like a fruit, the other looks like leaves. So they're both from the same plant, maybe. Gotcha. And then there are blushberries. Yeah, blushberries, Dreamadroop, Murmurleaf, and Bogglewort. And then they're in different buckets. Gotcha. Around.
Gotcha.
These look pretty good.
Now, out of character question regarding the fruit, is anyone able to consume fruit, or do you have to have a special trait for it?
Humans cannot consume fruit. Mortals cannot consume the fruit, and neither can vampires. Any other mythological creature, the werewolves, changeling, etc., true fae, can consume the fruit and have an effect.
Okay.
You don't need a special merit or anything to have them. Hell, you can buy the sorrow glamour gobs and actually gain the benefit from it. You just gain less. You just gain less. So Ro loses 2 glamour or gains 2 glamour per fruit sheet. You would only gain 1. That's the difference. Because it's not your preferred method of getting it.
Gotcha. But it's in a pinch. Could help.
In a pinch, yep. In a pinch it could help.
All right. So, Sim will actually get some. I will.
Yeah, you'll get some? Good. Yeah, all right. What fruits do you want?
Well, if they have the ones that are the sorrow gobs, I mean, that's what we harvest.
The glamour gobs. Yep, those are, they're labeled. Ro has a little basket she's shoving them into, that she's filling this damn basket. Like, she's taken a bunch of fruits. It's clear that this is her restocking until next week when the market's open again.
Okay. Yep. I figure, I don't know how expensive they are, so I'm thinking maybe we're good to buy 4, 6. I don't know. Some reasonable amount.
What do you selling these for, ma'am?
So the very androgynous looking. I did say woman because it's kind of effeminate, but it's one of those, like, you look at them and you're like, this could just be a really effeminate dude or a somewhat more masculine-ish
Sim will ask
woman.
if they have a preferred method of being addressed.
They do. It's she, but they definitely don't necessarily look a specific way. I fucked that up by not being like, they're very androgynous. I was like, she, because I know their pronouns.
That's okay. That's
because I made them. So just says she is fine.
Sure.
She, her.
Not a
but
ma'am.
So what
ma'am. Okay.
For most of the fruit, and she points to the amaranthine, the amaranthine.
Okay.
She points to that one. Most of the fruit, with this being the exception, is just it's a minor something of value to you. And what you see Ro produce is, from her hair, she produces one of those bugs you saw the other night. It's this
Yeah.
bee, and it's a big bee, and you know, she's named all of them. She's, you know, especially Derek. She's talked to Derek about
Mhm.
this stuff, and
Okay.
Yeah,
she
as long as they
hands
don't get on the rug, we're good.
Okay.
she hands the insect over to this woman. Now, essentially, and I don't want to completely compare it to the VTM with the Famulus, but
Mhm.
there is clearly some kind of bond between her
Can-
and this insect.
Got it.
And it like it's almost like giving up a not a beloved familiar, but a familiar she is fond of. And she
Okay.
hands that over to the woman who picks it up. Now, she has filled this basket, which is almost the size of her, with
Okay.
this fruit. She probably has 24 fruit in this basket.
Okay.
For you guys, it's going to be even less than what she gave up. Because when I say something of minor value, I mean to you something you find of minor value. That could be the memory of a song that makes you happy, just a mild tune that brings you joy. It could be something as simple as, you know, a
Mhm.
coin you found one day that you had particularly good luck that day after finding. It's random shit. So this is what I mean by like it's
Mhm.
very anamorphous and vague of
Derek
what you
will
could
reach
offer.
into his bag and pull out that coupon from Romero's and hand it over. He really
right.
doesn't want to hand it over.
She takes it from you. For this, you can pick 8 fruits that are not the amaranth.
But what's with the amaranthine?
The amaranth.
The red ones.
Yeah,
That
the red
they're
ones.
not red. They're
Oh,
not red, but they're red, but they're not red.
These
Yeah, those ones
are incredibly difficult to find in the
Hmm.
hedge. They grow in very secluded places and are also very hard to grow in an actual grove. But these are healing fruits. They
Oh,
heal a large amount of wounds, and they can mend broken bones, and very rare to find.
Mm.
what do you want for one of those?
Something of greater value, something more important to you, something you'd be less willing to give up. She knows that you weren't super willing to give up that thing, but do you have a favored childhood memory?
I don't remember anything.
Ah,
So maybe. Mama, it's okay. Buddy, it's okay. Yeah, I don't remember anything.
do you have any items from your mortal life?
I don't know. I mean, I had what we took, but that's about it. I don't know. I have my beanie, but you can't have my beanie.
Hmm. I don't think that is something you should probably ever part with.
No, it's the you kind of
Squishes
reach up
still.
and squish,
Yeah, it
and then he'll
squishes.
look at the blood.
Sim will come forward and mention to this individual. Would you accept do you perhaps have need of something that needs to be repaired, fixed, or adjusted in some manner that I may offer a service in exchange for one of those or some of those fruits?
As far as services go, she kind of looks at you. If you happen to be traveling the hedge anytime soon. Any fruits you find that you can safely pick, you can bring to me. Replenish my stock.
So go fruit, go
Go
pick
fruit
some fruit. I
harvesting.
mean, yeah. I mean, we are going to the hedge, like, so that okay, yeah.
Well, isn't that
I-
convenient?
That is true.
Because I was thinking red for red, but I don't know if you like blood.
I don't prefer it, as I am just a fruit seller.
Yeah.
It
Derek
would
will kind of
benefit
wipe
me
the blood
more.
back on the
Oh
beanie.
my God. It doesn't really do anything. It's still wet
No.
enough that all you're
It
doing
makes
is
him
like
feel
just
better though. It makes him he's like, okay,
Fair.
it's back. It's back on there.
Hmm.
We're okay.
But yes,
So yes, Sim will go. Yes, we can arrange
And-
for some bringing back of some fruit for you. Yeah.
And
Alright.
I could help you set up for next market if you want, because these look
oh,
kind of
don't worry
heavy.
about that.
Okay.
I have ways of setting up.
Okay.
Should we find this fruit, how do we contact you to make arrangements?
Well, as your friend here offered, you can find me before the markets at this location. We have market every Friday at this location. Whenever you happen to have the fruit and be back at the market,
Okay.
you come find my stall and you can just give it to me then.
Sounds
We
good.
can do that. Okay. Yeah.
So we have a deal then. She holds out her hand.
Yeah, we find you fruit and bring it here when we go into the hedge.
Any fruit in particular that you're looking for?
If you can find any of the rare fruits like the amaranthine, bleh, I hate that word, or the kunettle would be nice. Murmur leaf is also good. And she points to them and you can see what they look like. Murmur leaf.
Sure.
Murmur leaf is a blossom with all of the leaves curling upwards.
Okay.
Kind of in this weird. And the kunettle is a kind of a leafy plant. It's almost like mint, only much darker. And obviously the amaranthine is red eggplant shaped fruit. So any of those she would be more than willing to have. But glamour gobs are always beneficial as well.
Very well.
So yep, next
We
time we go into
shall-
the hedge, we'll bring you back any fruit we find.
She holds out her hand
So
and she shakes her hand.
Mhm.
And you guys can take 3 of the amaranthine.
Okay.
And you can, I think, Derek, you can take 8 of the sorrow,
Mhm.
the sorrow gobs.
Yeah.
For your card.
Well, Derek wanted the amaranthine because of something Leland said last time. Definitely not what Leland meant, but
Yeah.
Derek is Derek.
Yeah.
I
That's
found
okay,
the fruit you were looking for.
Yeah.
And the amaranthine are the healing ones, correct?
Yes. It heals 1 damage.
Mhm.
So like 1 aggravated, any type of damage.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
1 injury or
Per scene. So if you eat 1 and then the next scene you eat another, you're just healing yourself that whole time.
Okay.
And as
fantastic.
changelings, unlike the vampires, you can't. With the changeling, it's more natural. You have to go find someone that can help you or whatever.
Yeah.
So these are,
Correct.
help me, doctor.
or you have to have the ability, like Derek does.
Yeah.
And Sim has that ability now too.
Ah,
With the artificer, the blessing of perfection can heal wounds
that's right.
for the artificer.
Yep.
We
For
got
the hedge,
healing covered. Yay.
for the hedge, these are probably going to be super useful because you might not
Yeah.
necessarily have a whole lot of time to And you're definitely going to want the gobs as well, because if you use glamour, you won't have your harvest or your key.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could take Keith with us. It's a terrible idea. No one mentioned that to Derek.
Okay.
Accidentally pull Allie through the hedge. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm taking that key from you as soon as I can.
All right.
Oh my God.
She wants to have some fun with it first. Her and Indigo, we're gonna go exploring the hedge.
Oh my
God. Oh no, Indigo's Ravanos. Oh,
exactly.
Fuck.
Exactly.
No,
they gonna try and kill you.
I know.
We kill them first.
You're in the fucking hedge. Good luck.
We'll
Home
try.
turf.
Hey.
Home court advantage.
Home turf, except Indigo can manipulate the hedge because it's dream stuff. She doesn't know that. She would just be like,
you can find out.
You can
Calm.
find out.
Panic.
That's
Walks into the hedge.
Oh, it's
and
gonna
then,
be great.
And manipulate the
Allie
hedge.
will just
Panic.
get addicted to Fey blood.
What?
It'll be fine.
Yeah, Indigo, roll me a willpower check. All right, what is the first thought in your head about the things you're seeing? What are you thinking about them? All right, here's what happens.
I get dirty thoughts about you.
Allie, your outfit's gonna definitely change.
Why?
Why
is that? Why? I don't know what just happened.
What was wrong with the way I was dressed? Exactly.
It was bright. And we already have, well, you get a lighthouse. Anyway.
No, that's where Deb lives. Sorry.
I have notes to write. Fuck.
All right,
okay.
moving on to
Are
the game we're actually playing. So
we're getting the
fruit.
Yeah.
We're getting the amaranthine
and
the sorroglobs and the sorroglamor gobs, and I believe that's it. That's it. That's all part of our
so agreement. Okay. It's 8 gobs and it's 3 of the amaranthine. So you make your deal, you gather your fruit, and you are free to go to whatever shop, whatever other shops you might potentially want to go to.
Okay.
Hedge Spun Home Goods is where Derek wanted to go.
All right.
Derek, I wanted to trip over to the ward end, but you wanted to check out Hedge Spun Home Goods. So, all right.
Do you want to put the fruit in the bag?
Absolutely. Yeah. Let's put this fruit in someplace, whatever's safe.
No.
So
okay. Oh dear.
Yeah.
This bag is
fine. Milo, it's fine.
This bag. Wait.
Not fine.
Wait. Question. What is this bag that Derek has?
It's just like a messenger bag.
It's the bag where you kept the hand, the arm.
Yeah.
It's that same bag.
Okay.
It's the messenger bag. He just was like, I'm going to put stuff that I have that maybe I can trade because he has no idea how a market works.
It's Pippin's old messenger bag.
Yeah.
Got it. Is it safe to put the fruit in there? Am I catching something wrong?
It's definitely safe to put the fruit in the bag. Is it safe to give the fruit to Derek? That's a whole other question.
Do you want Ro or Savannah to keep track of the fruit?
No, I got it.
Okay.
Derek just opens up the bag.
Okay. Derek is going to pull Savannah aside out of earshot of Derek.
Derek is going to pull Savannah aside?
No.
Am I? Ooh, what are we talking about?
Is going to pull Savannah aside out of Derek's earshot and go, could you please keep track of the fruit in the bag?
Yeah, I can absolutely do that.
Thank you. I just want to make sure Derek doesn't inadvertently bargain it away or lose it or something like that.
Yeah.
Did you,
I'll pay
Savannah? Thank you. Savannah, did you want to go to Hedge Spun Home Goods, or did you have another place you wanted to go?
Hedge Spun Home Goods it's one of those shops I was telling you about that makes clothes that I can wear. So Yeah, they're pretty neat actually. So I wouldn't mind going with Derek and actually looking at their selection of stuff if
Right.
not a problem.
Cool. I'm going to head to the ward end.
Okay.
And if you can accompany Derek there, that would be fantastic.
Oh yeah, of course. So
And I don't know.
Savannah gives you a
And
little
then
nod.
thank you. And then I'll nod back and I'll break away from Savannah, come back and check on where Ro wants to go to.
Ro has conducted her business for the day, so everything else to her is just a bonus. So she is just
chilling,
willing to look around. Oh yeah, she's
Hey.
basically just like, yep, it's an adventure. She's gotten the things she needs, so she's, if she finds extra,
Cool.
she's.
Would you like to come to the other store with me?
Yeah, sure. We could go to that store.
Okay.
The wardens they're nice.
Okay. All right, let's do this. So,
all right,
we'll split off. Oh no, don't split the party. No, I'm just kidding.
Savannah goes with Derek, and Ro goes with Sim. And actually, because of the way the market is laid out, you do reach Hedge Spun Home Goods is before the wardens.
No problem.
So you pass one more shop that's on the map, the specific map, and that is, give me a second, the rare gem.
Cool. I'm going to be right back. I'm just going to get something to drink.
The rare gem. So you pass the rare gem before you get to the Hedge Spun Home Goods. So this is where Sim breaks off and takes Ro with him. And you and Savannah stopped at the store. The man running this shop is a small, twisted hobgoblin. His hands are these stumps almost, but they have 3 claws coming out of them rather than actual fingers. So he kind of like, and he has no legs, but he sits in this. Do you watch the Wild Wild West, right? He's in
Actually,
that
yes, I did.
spider leg looking contraption where it's like he's on a seat, but like the seat has these like spider legs that are like steam powered basically. And he's kind of walking, like he walks across with this spider leg business, like his stall top, and not everything's within his arm's reach. There's actually a bigger part to his booth as it does sell clothing and furniture and things. So there is a countertop and then kind of a side entrance off that leads deeper into the shop. And you can see that it is an actual storefront in this. It's an actual storefront in this mall. Like he has the whole store front once you've walked past the like entrance, which is this gentleman chatting with people.
So close.
Are you talking to Savannah or the shopkeeper?
Savannah.
Yeah, they sell clothes at this store that I can wear, and they look pretty cool. So I was yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking for. What are you looking for?
It had hedge in the name.
All right. The gentleman at the counter.
Yeah.
As you guys kind of start to walk, like you're gonna enter the bigger portion of the shop. With like, his hands goes, well, let me know if you need anything, and don't try to steal from me. I'll note it.
It's in
I have
the
a way to keep an eye on you.
It's in the rules.
Doesn't mean people don't try.
Oh, okay. Do you have any fancy sticks?
I don't know what you're talking about with fancy sticks, but we have a lot of home goods, like in the name.
Okay, but do you have wands?
No, we don't have magic wands.
Oh. Okay. How about rugs?
We do have rugs.
Derek's gonna go judge the rugs.
Okay. So you slip in through to the store.
Mhm.
And you see, once you go in past like a little curtained area that's like a separate doorway, essentially, you see the two people that work for him. He's not a nice dude. And
It's
they
not Zarin. We're okay.
they have
It's not
yeah, they
Zarin. We're
have
okay.
these
We're
like
okay.
they have these like collars on.
Never mind.
I
lied.
Yeah, they have like these engravings in them.
Mm.
And one of them is looks to be immortal, like a human woman. Probably about 18 or 19. Yeah, she does not look like a changeling, fae, anything. She looks human. And the other one is an ogre, seeming. Sorry.
My feelings are hurt.
I did.
I know we're good. No,
I'm
we're
sorry.
good. Derek.
Yeah.
We talked about this. Consent is key, people.
Yep.
So
It
we
is.
talked about this. So Derek's gonna kind of look at the collars a little bit. He's gonna kind of saunter up to the mortal in his Derek pace, because that's how Derek do. Just do. Kind of look.
Yes.
Oh,
Can I help you with something?
I was looking for the rugs. That's
And
yeah,
I can absolutely show you where those are. Savannah's like right behind you too, by the way. She's like right behind you.
I mean, yeah.
Now, what you notice about this shop, kind of pretty immediately on top of the two people that work for him, is that all of these items are basically household items, but there's something about them that's really weird. So you know how Willow was wearing that dress that appeared to be made out of autumn leaves? All of these items have that vein to them. As you're walking past, you see couches carved from hedge woods. You see a chair made or what appears to be made out of an insect carapace. You see a mirror hanging on a wall that looks like the mirror itself moves as though it is a pool of water that is being rained on. There's a lamp that looks like a small tree, and the light that comes off of it actually is coming from what look like little fairy lights that are fruits growing on it, but it's a lamp. So when you get to the rugs, you see one that is literally like it's a rug. You can tell it's a rug, and it swirls with moonlight and spirals of smoky darkness. There's another one that dances like fire.
Okay, like fire?
Like fire.
It's not as good as mine.
It's not your rug.
It's not my rug.
It's still not your rug.
It's still not my rug. Nothing will ever compare.
Has that crystal fractal appearance, like when light hits a gem or water droplet and creates that rainbow effect. The rug looks like a rainbow. It looks like, it isn't until, this woman moves it kind of off the wall that you realize there is substance to it. It's not just light playing on the wall. It is a rug, but it looks like a rainbow.
How much for the fire rug?
Well, this needs to be negotiated, but it is just the hedge fund good. So it is as fancy as it looks. It is just a rug. So it's a trivial, it's a small item with it doesn't have to have a lot of meaning for the rug.
Oh,
You see
Okay.
this girl struggling with the very concept of what she's even talking about. Like,
Are you okay?
oh yeah, I'm fine. But you do know, like, Derek probably doesn't remember because he doesn't remember his mortal time, but like humans do have trouble with the concepts of the hedge in Arcadia. So like
Mhm.
it's not that she's dumb or in distress. Well, she
No.
kind of is, but
She
blink
anyway.
twice. Yeah. But no, I'm fine. But yeah, no, it's
Okay. Yeah.
a minor, a trivial, it's a trifle. Yeah, it's a trifle.
Rifle.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a trifle item. No price.
Okay. I think I want to get this. I have someone I want to give to.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I'll pull it. She pulls it down and she
Mhm.
kind of folds it up and it folds up the like a cloth rug. You touch it, it feels like a cloth rug, like just this nice kind of soft rug in your hands, but it
Mhm.
looks like it dances with fire the way you would watch a fire in a fireplace
Mhm.
flicker and crackle
Yep.
and move. And it that's just what it looks like.
Mhm.
Savannah is staying relatively close to you and she's kind of watching
Yeah.
what you're doing. And she's not, she kind of steps up and she's like, when you need to talk to the weirdo at the front,
Okay.
I'll help you with that when you buy this. Cause I don't
'Cause
think Sim was trying to say you can't get anything. I think he just wanted someone to make sure that you weren't being ripped off.
but we're not supposed to do that. We're supposed to charge a fair price. And if I hit the zero twice,
We were
I have to
well,
take and cancel the transaction because it's not fair to the customer.
oh my goodness. That was a lot, Derek, in a very short amount of time. And I get where you're coming from. This is not the same as that. This is quite different. But no, it's you get what is advertised and honor your deals. There's nothing that says they can't try to charge you more or a little unfairly. And
Oh,
it's just we'll when we get to the paying for it portion, we'll discuss it. It's a
okay.
negotiation, okay? It's okay.
We're gonna
It's called bartering.
bargain.
We're gonna yeah,
Barter.
yes, there you
Bargain.
go. Barter bargain. Yeah, negotiate what
Okay.
is
Oh
given over.
yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Go. Right.
Yeah.
Sim's gonna
Yeah.
We
have
don't
to take
pay.
Derek yard sailing more.
Yeah.
This is great.
So
Terrible idea. Derek will be like, I'm
Perfect.
taking this. I want this. And the person will be like, oh my God, what are you?
all right.
Like,
Who are
This is
you?
a cool vacuum cleaner. We need it for the hollow.
you can go take your own vacuum for a walk.
Go take the vacuum for a walk. So
and then Derek will be like, okay, let's go look for clothes because I still need a shirt.
all right.
My other shirt. It's in the bag though, so we're okay.
Okay.
Wait, is
So
Derek still wandering around shirtless at the market?
No, Derek
Okay.
put on his other shirt.
He has his other shirt on and his hoodie.
Got it.
His ripped hoodie or a different hoodie?
It's absolutely ripped. He probably needs new
Yeah.
clothes. Not gonna lie.
It's okay.
Gotta
So
go clothes shopping for the hip.
looks
you
a
walk
mess.
over to the actual like clothing section of this store, and a lot of the stuff is actually like it's like some of it looks like liquid gold. There are items that look and move as though they were crafted from foliage or flowers, or there's are you looking for anything in specific or just something that might stand out to Derek?
I think Derek's looking for clothes that are harder to rip.
I mean,
and maybe easier to clean. Like magically, like, yes.
You look at these shirts and you're kind of probably just a tad confused because all of them look like they're made of shit that would be harder to clean or would disintegrate in water. But but when you touch them, they feel like normal fucking clothing. Like they have a normal like cotton consistency or whatever.
You know, you take your toddler to the store, they run around, they start poking at things and moving them and trying them. Yeah, this is exactly the case.
So if Derek is just looking for something that either appears and or feels like it's an easy to maintain article of clothing,
I'm not going to start ripping stuff yet.
With the hedge spun aspect of it, Savannah could probably tell you if you asked that essentially the glamour that creates the prettiness to it would actually hide any stains. And the glamour that hides the weirdness about it, the glamour that makes it pretty, would hide any stains. So like they're unstainable shirts. Basically.
Derek's like looking at these super intensely and like poking at them and kind of stretching them. Like
you find a couple you think you find a couple that you think are pretty durable. One of them appears to like it's like a thunderstorm. So every once in a while lightning sparks. Like a cloudy sky, lightning sparks. That one feels pretty durable. You find
shockingly so.
Fun jail. So Derek's gonna hold them up. Which of these would be harder to rip off?
Savannah looks at your choices. The other one actually looks like animal fur, like the like just kind of kind of nondescript animal fur.
I'm sorry, I'm just picturing Derek with tearaway clothes now.
And Savannah, all clothes are tear away if you're strong enough.
All clothes are tear away if you're strong enough. And Derek is definitely. This conversation's gonna go somewhere weird.
So is Savannah, by the way. So Savannah comes over and she kind of tugs on the shirts a little bit, and she feels them, and she's like, you know, both of these feel like a similar material to me. So I think that either one they're about the same durability. It's just whichever one you like the best.
I want the thundercloud one. It's fine. I know I want that one. Derek would go with the fur. He missed.
All right.
Because
he misses the fur. I know. Yeah, I know.
Fur is cool.
So you put the thundercloud one back and you keep that one with you. And again, all of the hedge spun things, depending on how many you get, are all trivial or trifles. Until you start to really collect a lot of them, and then it starts to get like more and more.
Oh no, don't worry. We'll get to payment later.
Yeah.
I mean, close for close, right?
Okay. So what Savannah has collected.
Savannah doesn't know. This is fine.
No, she has no idea what the fuck's going on. It's fine. She finds these like they tie on. It's kind of the same way I explained her original clothing, and they have they have pretty designs. I mean, they look like they've got like silver on the edges of them, and you know, like she just collects a couple, and they, you know, hers more feel almost woodsy, but without actually being woodsy. So like they feel like a forest at night, but they don't necessarily look like trees. It's that open sky, you know, just this element of being out at night in the forest. And they have like pretty filigree and stuff as well. And so she collects a couple of those. And was there anything else? Because I could describe hedge spun shit all day, but we don't have a finite
what's Sim
time,
up to?
So. Sim.
Yeah. We can pause for a second and see what Sim's up to. I'm gonna go get something to drink now.
Yep. We'll get to your negotiation later. Sim, you wander through the head. You pass, the only shops that you pass on your way are I think I mentioned it earlier, was the rarities, and then you also pass the living ink shop to get to
the living what?
Vortex. The living ink shop. to get to the
ink.
Yep, living ink to get to the warden.
Gonna pop into the living ink real quick.
All right, you pop into the living ink. So as you duck into this store, which is kind of like it's a setup stall with like these, not necessarily, they're wooden walls. They're definitely kind of a wooden, and it's kind of long and narrow. You see jars on the wall.
Okay.
And in these jars are tattoos.
Okay.
They look like, some of them look like traditional tattoos, like a heart with a sword through it. But that heart with the sword through it is beating and bleeding. Now you see like a dragon, and it's blinking and it's looking and moving.
Right.
And it's very clear that whatever these are might not have sentience, but will not stay still.
Gotcha.
Put on your person. So.
Anything fire related?
There are a couple of fire related tattoos. There are ones with like various symbols, like, and I hate to do this stereotype, but like the different characters, Japanese, Chinese, that represent fire with like fire spiraling up them.
Okay, gotcha.
There's also, yeah, it's not like the racing stripe fire either.
Right.
When I say these things look like it, I mean, aside from the heart with the dagger, because, you know, nobody really wants a real ass looking heart on their person. A lot of them look as realistic as possible. Nobody wants that when they're getting that dumb tattoo. But so yeah, a lot of them look fairly realistic as possible. So when I say fire, I mean like, yeah, there are tattoos that's the same way that like the rug did, that flicker. Like just like fire that flickers and crackles. There's a lot of combination tattoos. There are dragons breathing fire. There are creatures made of fire, tigers, foxes, wolves. There's, you know, it's a variety of things like that. There are skulls on fire.
Okay. Interesting. Who's the proprietor of the shop?
The proprietor of the shop is, let me find him or her, because I don't remember. Yes. Is a you see at the back a wizened changeling. Okay. Gray skin, kind of almost a bluish cast to the gray skin. Black, they have black tattoos. These, and you do see these tattoos moving, like shifting on their person. His eyes are really small and his nose is a little big.
Okay.
That's what he looks like. And he's, you know, he's basically, and what you see him doing, and to you, Sim, this is incredibly fascinating. He's drawing on paper. He's like drawing and painting and using like just a bunch of different media. And then once the picture is done, he's basically sticking his hand on it and sticking it in a jar. And then it starts to move and do the various things. And then he puts it up on the shelf. And he turns to you. Can I help you?
Oh. You have a very amazing display here of artistry.
Thank you. Would you like one?
I'm considering it.
I mean, if you don't like the selection above, I can always make one for you.
I see. Is it for... I haven't come across anything like this before. Is it just for aesthetic purposes, how they react, or is there something more to them?
Well, there can be something more to them. It requires more effort and therefore a much higher cost. But these ones are all for aesthetic, just something to look neat, something to impress your friends. Well, not your mortal friends, but you get what I mean.
Of course.
But yeah, they're not meant to do anything specific. They're just meant to be pleasing or potentially cover up maybe an unseemly mark or something you might not be so proud of on your person. Though they do move. They can move around the whole body if you'd like, or they can just move various parts of themselves, blink, breathe fire, whatever you want. The amount of movement is adjustable.
See. How long does it take to apply?
Oh, it is a very simple process to apply. It's just if you want something that I haven't pre-made, I would have to give you an estimation of the time it would take me to create the picture. But all I do is I take it out of the jar and you tell me where you want it put and I put it there. I don't have to draw it on. I've already done that.
Fascinating process. Okay. I will be back. I have to make one more or a couple more stops, but I do plan on coming back.
Of course.
I'll see
I
you
look
shortly.
forward to seeing you again.
Yeah. And Fig's honestly gonna and genuinely going to eye one of those flaming skulls.
We're going to go ahead and make a tally there because Sim is eyeing it, not Fig.
Did
Anyways,
I say that?
Yeah, you did.
Christ.
You did. It's
damn
fine.
Ah,
So let's make another tally. It's at least only once for this one so far.
so far.
All right. So you,
Okay.
with
I will
the
head out.
promise of coming back.
Yes, because Sim is definitely
Sim,
interested.
you said
Fig gonna get tatted up. I'm just kidding. Oh dear.
Trauma. Anyways.
Yes. Head over to the ward's end.
The ward ends. All right.
The
So
ward end, yeah.
like I said, the only other shop he passed aside from the living ink was the rarities. So
I'll come back to the rarities too, but I'm on
all right.
a mission.
So you go over
Get in the nocturne alley here. This dodgy place.
and the warden. You step up to the shop. And what's unique about this shop is it's pretty minimal. There isn't merchandise per se for sale. You do see this insectoid looking hobgoblin sitting there. He has multiple arms / legs from different insects. So he's got like these normal human arms and then like praying mantis limbs coming out and then like bee legs.
Human bartender.
And yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, and there's almost this coloration of a type of caterpillar you've seen before. And it's very weird. And there's like pieces of carapace on them, but it's not like the bee lady you saw earlier. It's disjointed, almost like something went horribly awry. And
that's what I was gonna say. Does this look like a mutation of some sort?
It looks like something went terribly wrong, and nobody has helped this poor person with it. But they are also a hobgoblin, and hobgoblins, this might be normal for them. But it also might be a problem they're having. You're not really sure.
I get no respect.
Respect.
No,
And then with this person, this weird amalgam individual, you also see another one. And she is about 5 foot tall. She has butterfly. Yeah, she has got butterfly wings. Okay. It looks like her ears kind of go into butterfly wings. She has big ones on like Willow, big butterfly wings on her back. Her elbows, at her hips, there are butterfly wings. They just kind of come out and it doesn't look like the other person where it's like this weird what the hell happened to you. It actually kind of looks like it matches, and you know, it doesn't look uncomfortable or
it's
like,
a symmetry
you know,
to it.
Yeah, there's a symmetry and a naturalness to it.
Got it.
But yeah, she's kind of wandering around and like grabbing, not grabbing things, but she's writing stuff down. That's what she's doing. She's making notes and writing things down. And there are not a lot of people over at this stall. There's like one or two other people. You know, one person's kind of talking to this girl and the other one's talking to the insect person.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
So, hello. How can I help you?
I'm hoping you can be of assistance. I'm to understand this place probably more so than others might have what I'm looking for. Is there perchance one of you slightly more private place we could have a discussion?
Well, unfortunately, because my shop doesn't really have merchandise, you see, when we ward things, we usually have to go someplace or something's brought to us. You know,
Right.
We don't really sell anything that's like a physical you can take with you right this second kind of thing. We don't do that
Understood.
here.
Yeah.
You know, we sell a service. That's what we sell. This is kind of our whole shop, and it's like a fucking booth. Like they bought a table at the con and they have a small section behind them and they have just like
Hi, we're here promoting
some
our
papers
game.
Yeah, like a business card and like a stack of papers, and that's fucking it. Like they don't have a lot. So like, as no, you, because this is kind of towards the back of one side, keeping in mind there are 4 sides to this mall, because I told you there are the 2 at the top, and then you guys went towards the forbidden fruits, so you branched off that way, but there was another way you could have gone. So they're at the back of this section, so like the foot traffic has greatly thinned out at this point.
Okay, so it's okay. Sim just wants to be careful about speaking.
Yeah, really, aside from these 2 other people that are back here, there's maybe another group of people at another stall, like one of the ones you can't really pronounce, that is selling stuff that you look at and you're like, I don't know. They're like maybe 20 feet away.
Okay.
So it's not super private, but it's
private enough. Okay.
It's private enough.
Thank you for the explanation of what you offer. I have a situation that maybe your services can possibly be applicable to. The situation I'm looking at is we have something where, well, I have something, I should say, that I am seeking to acquire, and it is an item that is located within the hedge. I don't know if you're familiar at all with the stories or legends surrounding the Hedge Wand.
All right, let me go ahead and roll for Jace. Is this guy's name, by the way? His name is Jace, and the butterfly girl's name is Marion.
Got it.
It's Marion. He gets a bonus for this, so here we go. He's never heard of this thing. No, that was terrible. No, he has no idea what you're talking about.
Okay. Well, in that case, it gives him an opportunity to explain it. From what I understand of the stories and legends surrounding this item, is that you're able to wield it in such a way that wherever you want to be, in or through the hedge, if I'm remembering correctly, you can go. It can basically open up a pathway for you and be able to take you to that place, that location. That item, I am intending to want to know if I can alter or in some way affect what it does. And perhaps in one of two ways, at least that I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know if one, if perhaps such an item could be altered in a way that, when used, has perhaps an opposite effect. Instead of the wand transporting you where you want, it instead sends you there and it stays. Or it in some way, or could be altered in such a manner that, or the other thing I'm thinking is its properties could be applied to something else that traps or in some ways locks the user away in some place they have very little chance of getting out.
Well, you know, a binding ward would be the easier route, more than likely, depending on exactly what the item does, how powerful it is, how it was created, et cetera, et cetera. You know, like there's a lot that goes into it, but a binding rune or a binding ward would bind it to one place. You would basically pick a location, and it would need to be more specific than just the mortal world or whatever, or the hedge or what. You know, you need a spot for it to want to be. It needs to want to be at that spot for the binding, you know, root or ward to really work. Keep it where it is. But it did. If it's not in that spot, say you can't make that happen, we could also put a return to sender kind of ward on it. So where if it gets used outside of the location, it returns back to its location where it's bound to, you know what I mean? So that's a more simple way of that's a more simple way of doing it. Whereas, you know, the trapping, that seems a little complex. Like, unless, well, you know, I would need several items, not just the one item to make that happen. Whereas with the binding and the teleporting, or the binding and the, you know, that's all a little bit easier, you know. But yeah, I would need some way to trap them. Like I'd need the wand, and then something like a jar, you know, like a soul jar. Oh, they sell bottled ghosts. If you could get one of the ghost bottles, that might work.
Okay.
Stop looking at me like that.
Like what? We're fine over here. Everything's fine. Not at all traumatized by ghosts and bottles.
I wrote this down weeks before that was said, by the way. Weeks. I had the bottled ghosts.
I'm setting her in the fucking sun. I'm setting her in the sun so she can burn.
Fucking 3LC over here is like ghosts, and I'm like,
I've had
the
that
collective
in place
is working.
For a while.
I know.
I know.
The collective. It's the collective. Welcome to the Figment Collective. We share one brain
to the
cell.
Figment Collective. It's also a legend. There are legends about like things like that too. So I'm joking, but yeah.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Okay, so
yeah, like
that's why I'm
bottles,
asking these questions. I'm just kind of working through it. So
the bottled ghost, if you can get one of those bottles, like if they'll let you buy the empty bottles, which I think they do, you know, those are already come with like the trapping element. It would just be a little bit more alteration rather than putting a total ward onto something else to keep them there, you know. And and then yeah, then the two items would need to be linked, like, hey, if you use this, then this is where you go. And it's a little more complicated, but it
I
can be
gotcha.
done. It's just be a little more expensive.
Question on the
Mhm.
taking the binding and the teleporting.
Mhm.
Could that be done in such a way so as the wielder of said item does not know that that is in play?
Well,
Can the ward be
see,
masked in some manner?
when making a ward onto something, the general idea is to mask it. You don't necessarily want to advertise, because if someone figures out that you've warded something and that ward is designed, usually, unless you're trying to be like big red deterrent, like on a banner, don't come here, blah blah blah. A lot of people want them to be real discreet. So it's more of just, when somebody looks for the ward, they're a lot harder to disguise as her. When you can see that magic and actively go looking for it, it does leave a mark. The way to disguise it would essentially be, well, a token. There are tokens that can potentially hide wards. I think that you'd have to ask somebody else about that. I'm not a master of tokens. I do know how to ward things, but I think there are a few maybe wearable tokens that'll do something like that. They'll allow you to.
Okay. Could such tokens be acquired here at the market?
It depends. There are probably a couple stores that might hold something like that. I doubt the Something Lost has it, but Rarities might, or Find It Here. She sells mostly trifles, so I don't actually know. Treasures from the Hedge for sure might have something like that. They're probably your best bet.
I see. Should I find the token I need and then be able to acquire the item that I am looking for? I will be able to bring them back here and negotiate what would be the terms for bringing this all together. Do you have a estimate on how steep of a deal we'd be looking at?
Well, again, depends on the item that you want bound, and or with the return to sender ward on it. For two wards like that, those aren't too terribly bad. It would definitely be more of in the minor price range. Something more than slightly treasured. Not something that you would be unwilling to give up, but something that's you would be willing to reluctantly trade. So let's see. Let's look at you. Hmm. The temporary use of one of your contracts would probably be something that would be worth it.
Which contract did you have in mind?
Your elemental, your fire.
And what is involved with the temporary use of said contract?
For 2 weeks, you would not have access to any of that. But I would. After the 2 weeks was up, it would return to you.
And it will return to me not diminished.
Not at all diminished.
Or altered.
No. Return to you as is, the way it was when you gave it.
I see. And for me, my experience would be if I were to call upon it, it would just not work.
Absolutely.
Okay. 2 weeks.
Again,
Okay.
negotiable, and we'll see what everything looks like when you get it to me. I don't want to lock you into something or promise something that I can't deliver. You know,
Understood. This is all
barring
contingent,
that.
contingent
Yes.
upon the delivery of said items.
Yes, and I have to look at the item to know how hard putting a ward on it. It might be way easier and we can negotiate that down, or it might be way harder and we'll have to see what we can do from there.
Sounds like a plan. At this stage only, I will work to acquire the items I need, and I will bring them back for your review. And
Of course.
We will go from there.
Well, I look forward to seeing you again, and I look forward to doing business with you if that's what ends up happening.
Thank you. You've actually been really helpful.
Well, you are more than welcome, and you have yourself a mighty fine day.
Cool.
And he does it with his like praying mantis arms. Just as you're leaving, Marion, who's been busy writing shit that whole time, kind of waves at you, even though she never really introduced herself. She seems kind of friendly.
Yeah.
And
I'll introduce myself as Sim.
Oh, cool. Yeah, they'll
Yeah.
get your name. They'll write your thing down.
Yeah,
Okay.
we have things in the morning.
Yes.
Yeah.
So as Sim walks away, Derek and Savannah are still grabbing shit, looking at all the odds and ends and the hedge spun home goods, all the very cool looking items. And we will pick up with Derek and Savannah negotiating the price of their items.
Excellent.
We did it.
We did it.
Everyone,
Success.
Thank you very much
alive.
for watching. We are still doing things. We are still recording things. Things are still happening.
Yes.
Things are still happening.
Holidays, man. They
just
kick your ass.
Holidays, internet, which
internet. Yeah.
Yeah. The internet is an issue for us.
Perfect example of
internet
that
is an issue.
technical difficulty.
But yes,
technical difficulties.
We
Thank
might
you for
have some
sticking with
new
it.
people joining us as well. We'll
Yes.
see
Yes.
new players, but we'll see
We're
how
also
that goes. So
we're also
Returning
expanding
players,
into
probably.
other areas. We're still going to, of course, continue to do all this lovely World of Darkness content, but we're also we're looking at some D&D and some other stuff like we have on our YouTube channel. We dabble in a whole bunch of different stuff. So
we don't know what we're doing, but we're having fun doing it.
And that's what's important.
Exactly. So
it's like
whenever
it's a game or
time,
something.
yeah, exactly. Whatever time you happen to see this, hope you enjoyed and have yourself.
Time is an illusion made up by the government. Have a good night.
Goodbye. Good night,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.